Namaste. A hearty welcome to all my beloved students of 9th standard mathematics session, chapter number 5, triangles, this being the third session. I am T.K. Prasannamurthy, retired headmaster, Vijaya High School, Jayanagar, Bangalore 11. Okay. In the previous two sessions, we had discussed the following. Let us recall them. Congruent triangles. Congruent triangles are the triangles which are having the same shape and the same area. Look at this. These two have the same shape as well as same area. These are called as congruent triangles. Quickly recall all the concepts that we have learnt in the first two sessions, children. Good. Okay, we hope that you have done the homeworks given to you, that is word example 1, 2, 3, exercise number 5.1, it has 8 problems. Please show it to your teacher and try to get some more information regarding them. We have to be very, very careful while applying SAS and ASA. Here, two sides and an included angle are given. So, we got one and only one triangle, that is called unique triangle. Whereas here, two sides, that is base and this side, and not an included angle are given. So, we got two different triangle. One is being a small one and the other one is bigger one. For the same measurements we have got. So, we have to be very, very careful in SAS. So, the angle has to be always an included angle, then only the two triangles will be congruent to each other. So, SAS can be stated if two sides and an included angle of one triangle are equal to two sides and an included angle of another triangle, then those two triangles are said to be congruent. Okay, with regard to ASA, look at the first figure, children. So, two angles and a side are given. Don't you think this side is the common side to this angle? Shall we call it as the included side? Two angles and an included side are respectively equal to two angles and a corresponding included side. Therefore, these two triangles are congruent. Now, come to the second case. Here, two angles and this side. This is not the included side. Two angles and this side are respectively equal to two angles and a corresponding side. Therefore, these two triangles are said to be congruent. Finally, here two angles and this side are given. So, if two angles and a side are equal to two angles and a corresponding side, then those two triangles are said to be congruent. Okay. So, ASA theorem or ASA test can be put it like this. If two angles and any one side are equal to two angles and a corresponding side of another triangle, then definitely those two triangles will be congruent to each other. At the same time, look at this figure, children. Here, two angles and a side are equal to two angles and not a corresponding side. Therefore, these two triangles need not be congruent. So, please take care while applying ASA also, it has to be the corresponding side. If two angles and a side and any one side are equal to two angles and a corresponding side, then those two triangles will be congruent. So, if two angles and any one side of a triangle are equal to two angles and not a corresponding side of another triangle, then those two triangles need not be congruent to each other. Okay, in the previous session, you have been introduced to reductio ad absurdum method. Okay, so a popular method in science and philosophy for the first time, which means reduce to absurdity, while discussing the proof for ASA. It is a powerful tool, children, in the sense that it is highly convincing method. In Kannada, it is called as ತಾರ್ಕಿಕ ಅಸಂಬದ್ಧತೆಗೆ ಇಳಿಸುವುದು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಥ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So, in this method, we start with an assumption opposite to what we wanted to prove. For example, here there are two objects are there. Say we wanted to prove that they are equal. We start with an assumption that these two are not equal. Another example, here are two scales are there. they are of different lengths. We want to show that they are different in length, but we start with an assumption that they are equal. This is the beauty of this reductio ad absurdum method. So we develop the proof with axioms, postulates, rules and theorems proved earlier to this. At some stage of the development, we get a stupid, a foolish, nonsense result. Then we realize that we got the stupid result. It's all because of the assumption that we made opposite to whatever we wanted to prove. By this, we confirm or establish the truth of the statement. So this is how we are going to proceed. So can you recall this figure, children? So in triangle ABC, P is a point on AB and P and C are joined. So you can see angle PCB. So this is angle PCB and that is equal to angle ACB. This is what we got. Is it really possible, children? We got this result during proving a ASA theorem only. So this is called getting a contradiction or a stupid result. It's all because when ASA of one triangle are respectively equal to ASA of another triangle, then we assumed that AB and DE are not equal. Hence, we got such a kind of contradiction. So in this session, let us discuss some properties of triangle, which is given as 5.4. In this third session, we shall understand the two fundamental properties of an isosceles triangle with the help of SAS and ASA, children. Also, the next two tests, SSS and RHS. Okay. So, some properties of triangle with regard to isosceles triangle. Here is a triangle ABC in which if you measure AB, it happens to be 22 centimeter. At the same time, if you measure AC also happens to be 22 centimeter, therefore AB and AC are equal. So let us measure angle B and angle C. Angle B is, in this figure it is 70 degrees. Let us measure angle C also. That also happens to be 70 degrees. Here angle ABC and angle ACB are equal. So triangle ABC is called as an isosceles triangle. So what is an isosceles triangle? It is a triangle in which two sides are equal, that is AB is equal to AC. Observe the figure, we put a two parallel lines at right angles to the line to the side AB, somewhere exactly at the middle, so that it looks so beautifully also. Okay, in an isosceles triangle, the two angles facing the two equal sides are also equal. So this is what we have understood. Which is the angle facing AB? It is angle ACB. Therefore, angle ACB is equal to, which is the angle facing AC? That is angle ABC only. So angle ACB is equal to angle ABC. So let us now try to understand theorem number 5.2, which states that if two sides of a triangle are equal, then the two angles facing them are equal. Okay, so for this we need to draw a figure. So this is the figure. Children, please make the base as small as possible and see that AB and AC are equal. So now put an outline like this so that it looks very elegantly. So first we have to write down the data, that is the given part. What is data? In triangle ABC we have AB is equal to AC. So mark it in the figure also like this. So what is to be proved? We have to show that angle ACB is equal to angle ABC. So this can be done using the concepts of the SAS and ASA. For this, some construction is to be done. So the construction is draw AD, the angular bisector of angle BAC. So take the compasses or with the help of protractor, measure angle BAC and make it into two parts. Let us call this as the foot of this line as D only. So now we have got angle BAD is equal to angle CAD. So shall we go to the next slide to see the proof, children? So here is the proof. We need to compare the angles and sides of the triangle ACD and triangle ABD. So let us start first. So point number 1 is AC is equal to AB. These two are equal. You must write the reason. It's all because of data, means it is given. So secondly, we have to write angle CAD and angle BAD are equal. These two angles are equal. The reason being construction. Third and the final point is the side AD is common to both. So we understood that the two sides at an included angle of one triangle are respectively equal to two sides and an included angle of another triangle. Therefore, we can take the decision like this: triangle ACD is congruent to triangle ABD. It's all because of SAS. When these two triangles became congruent, don't you think the corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal? That is, angle ACD must be equal to angle ABC. Therefore, if two sides of a triangle are equal, then two angles facing them are equal. It's all because of SAS criterion, SAS test. So this is the beauty of SAS, children. So we will go to now theorem number 5.3, which is nothing but the converse of theorem number 5.2, which states that if two angles of a triangle are equal, then the two sides facing them are equal. This is called converse. Converse means data has to be made to prove, and to prove has to be made data. Then the new statement so obtained is called the converse. So let us draw the figure and try to understand this. So here is a triangle ABC in which angle ABC, that is this angle, is equal to angle ACB. If these two angles are equal, we have to show that this side and this side, AC and AB, are equal. Children, can you suggest the construction for this? The SAS and ASA criteria in your mind, children. So what is the construction? We have to just draw AD perpendicular to BC like this. So let us call it as D and mark this as 90. These two angles are 90. Children, don't you think two angles and a side are equal to two angles and a corresponding side? Don't you think they are congruent? So that is the proof. So let us try to compare the sides and angles of right triangle ADC and the right triangle ADB. So let us start. The first point, we shall write it as angle ACD and angle ABD are equal. It's all because of data. These two angles are equal. Secondly, the side AD is common. And the third point is angle ADC and angle ADB are each equal to 90 degree. It's all because of construction. So we can now take a conclusion that these two triangles are congruent on account of ASA criterion. When they became congruent, they are identically in shape, size, in everything. The remaining elements are equal. Therefore, we can conclude that this implies that AB is equal to AC because the corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal. Hence, it is proved. Okay, now let us see both the theorem 5.2 and 5.3 in one single slide only, and here we will see the figure along with the data to prove on construction. Please see here, children. For 5.2, we have to draw the angular bisector and apply SAS criterion. In order to prove that two sides are equal given two angles, we have to draw the perpendicular only and apply ASA criterion only. This is how 5.2 and 5.3 can be easily understood. Now let us take one worked example number 4. So here the data you can see from the figure itself and write down the data. Okay, what is the data? Angle BAD and angle CAD are equal. These two angles are equal. One more data is given that AD is perpendicular to BC. Given this, what can you prove, children? Don't you think this must be an isosceles triangle with AB is equal to AC? How can you prove this, children? Don't you think, again, two angles and a side are respectively equal to two angles and a corresponding side? Therefore, these two triangles became congruent. When they became congruent, the corresponding parts are equal. Therefore, AB is equal to AC. In fact, BD is equal to DC. So many things we are going to get by this. So let us write down the proof. So compare the sides and angles of these two triangles. The first point, angle BAD is equal to angle CAD because of data. Secondly, the side AD is common. The third one is angle ADB and angle ADC are each equal to 90. That is also because of data. So please observe that the way in which the 3 points are written, because these two are congruent on account of ASA only. Better you write A, yes, A only. A, yes, A in the same order. Whichever theorem you are going to use here, you better follow the same rule so that the proof will be highly logical. So this implies that the two sides are equal, hence proved. This is worked example number 4, hence proved. Let us try to understand this worked example in this way. Can you write down a statement for this, children? If the angular bisector of a triangle is perpendicular to the base, then the triangle is an isosceles triangle. So beautifully we can state in this form of a statement, if the angular bisector triangle is perpendicular to the base, then the triangle has to be an isosceles. If the angular bisector is not perpendicular to the base, it is needless to say that it must be a scalene triangle only. Okay, can you state the converse of this statement and prove, children? This is equally important. Please take this as an activity. So write down the converse of this along with the proof and show it to your teacher. So let us take the worked example number 5. So what is the data? In this triangle ABC, the first point AB and AC are equal. That is an isosceles triangle, which we will show it as the two angles are equal. And secondly, AE is equal to EB. That is, E is the midpoint of AB. And third is AF is equal to FC. That is, F is the midpoint of AC. Now, if you join BF and CE, we have to show that these two line segments are equal. Let us join them in the figure. This is BE and CF. Don't you think this BE is nothing but the median to this, and the CE is nothing but the median to this? So we have to show that the two medians of an isosceles triangle are equal. Children, which are the triangles you wanted to take to compare and hence conclude this? So you can take triangle ABF, that is this triangle ABF and triangle ACE. So come on, start comparing. First point, AB and AC are equal because of data. Second point, angle A is common. This angle is common to this triangle as well as to this triangle. Therefore, angle A is common. Third one, AF is equal to AE. So this AF is equal to AE. Do you know the reason? Very important reason, children. Half of AB is equal to half of AC. It's all because of axiom. Things which are halves of the same things are equal to one another. Therefore, we conclude those two triangles are said to be congruent on account of SAS criterion only. Once they became congruent, this implies that BF is equal to C. So this we shall write it in this form. So this is what we have understood from this. In an isosceles triangle, the two medians are equal. Okay. If here also we have to state the converse of this statement and try to prove it, please show it to your teacher. So let's go to the worked example number 6. Another interesting worked example, children. So what is the data here? In triangle ABC, the first point AB is equal to AC. It's an isosceles triangle. BE is equal to CD. So BE from here to here is equal to CD. That is what they have given. So given this, we have to prove that AD is equal to AE. That means we have to join AD and AE. We have to show that AD and AE are equal. Just concentrate all your attention on this triangle ABD and this ACE. When you compare these two triangles, so the first point is AB and AC are equal. It's because of data. Second point is this angle ABD is equal to angle ACE. It's because of theorem number 5.2. That is, if two sides are equal, then two angles facing them are equal. And thirdly, this BD and EC are equal. The reason is very, very important, children. It's all because BE minus DE. From BE, if you subtract DE, you get BD, and that is equal to CD minus DE. So from CD, if you subtract once again D, you are going to get EC. So it's all because of axiom number 3, which states that if equals are subtracted from equals, the reminders are equal. We are subtracting D from these two which are equal. Therefore, these two reminders are equal. So to conclude, two sides and an included angle are equal to two sides and an included angle of another triangle. Therefore, those two triangles became congruent. Okay, it's because AD is equal to AE because the corresponding parts of congruent triangles, hence proved. Okay, so in exercise number 5.2, we will take just one problem, the sixth problem. So the data is, in this triangle ABC, we have again AB is equal to AC, that is an isosceles triangle in which BA is equal to AD. So this BA is extended to D such that BA is equal to AD. Okay, D and C are joined. After joining this, we are going to get this angle BCD. We have to show that angle BCD is equal to 90 degrees. Can you see two isosceles triangles here, children? So the proof is this: AB is equal to AC. This is because of data. and AB is also equal to AD. It's again because of data. Therefore, don't you think AC is equal to AD because of axiom number 1? So we have two triangles, that is ABC and ADC, which are isosceles to each other. So let us apply theorem number 5.1 to both. So in triangle ABC, we have angle ABC is equal to angle ACB. Let these two angles be equal to x degrees. Observe the figure. Let this angle be x, this angle is also x. Whereas in this triangle ACD, we have angle ADC is equal to angle ACD. These two angles are equal. Let us suppose that each angle be equal to y degrees each. Okay, so now let us take the full triangle DBC, and we know that sum of three angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. What is angle DBC? DBC is x degrees. So x plus, what is angle BCD, children? This angle is x plus y. So let us write x plus y plus angle BDC means this. This angle is y degrees, it is equal to 180. It's a simple equation. Let us solve this. So x plus x is 2x, y plus y is 2y, 2x plus 2y 180, divide throughout by 2. So we get x plus y is 90. What is x plus y, children? Which is nothing but this angle BCD. So BCD is equal to 90 degrees. So x plus y means BCD is actually equal to 90 degrees. Okay. Now, the same figure, if you get a flip and keep it like this as BD as the base, see how it looks. Now you can see one more figure wherein these two sides are removed. See how it is going to appear. So we have removed here CD and CB. See how it is appearing. So AD is equal to AB is equal to AC. If you see in future, anyway, AD is equal to AB is equal to AC, then definitely, immediately you must jump to the conclusion that this must be a right angle triangle only, with CA as the median. In fact, A is the midpoint of BD. Now this one, the same thing I wanted to show you using two straw pieces. So here is one straw material. Assume this as a line. So here is the midpoint. Now, so let us keep one more straw like this, children. Now observe, so this side is equal to this side is equal to this side. You just imagine in your mind a right triangle. This is going to be a right triangle only. If I even keep it like this, and even if I turn it like this, so this will form a right triangle only. Children, here is a beautiful slide showing all the worked examples and exercise 5.2. All the problems are given. Pay attention to each and every problem. Take your class workbook, write down the question, draw the figure, data to prove everything, and systematically write the proofs for all these problems. Children, now let us try to understand the two other golden theorems, golden tests to find the pair of congruent triangles, that is SSS and RHS criterion in detail. Okay. So this is the general enunciation for SSS theorem. If three sides of one triangle are equal to three sides of another triangle, then those two triangles are said to be congruent. This is given as proposition number 8 in volume number 1. In our textbook, it is given as theorem number 5.4. Now, let us draw the figure and try to understand better. So what is the data? In triangle ABC and triangle DEF, we have the first point, AB is equal to DE. The length of AB is equal to length of DE. Observe the figure also. Point number 2, the side BC is equal to side EF. We are showing with two similar marks, which is written exactly at the middle of those line segments. And finally, CA is equal to FD. So all the three sides of one triangle ABC are equal to, respectively equal to, the sides of triangle DEF. If this is so, you can confidently say that those two triangles will be congruent. What does it mean? It means that the angles of these triangles are respectively equal to angles of this, and the shapes are same, the sizes are same, everything is same, provided if three sides of one triangle are equal to three sides of another triangle. So, okay, so this is the construction that we have to do for this, and this is the proof, children, which is not given in our textbook. Hence, I am just showing you this without any explanation. So this is SSS criterion. Okay, test number 4, RHS criterion. So this is the general enunciation. if right angle, hypotenuse and a side of one right triangle, hypotenuse and a corresponding side of another right triangle, then those two right triangles are said to be congruent. This is given as theorem number 5.3 in our textbook, but this you won't find it in Euclid's Elements in any of the volume. I want you must investigate why Euclid has not stated this at all. Okay. Now, this is the figure. In order to understand this, here are two right triangles in which angle ABC is equal to angle DEF is equal to 90 degree. This is the symbol for 90 degrees. So, if this is 90, this is our hypotenuse. So, hypotenuse AC is equal to hypotenuse DF. Now, there are two remaining sides are there. You can take any one corresponding side. So, if AB is equal to D, or you can say BC is equal to EF, in such a case we need to show that, okay, we have to prove that these two triangles are said to be congruent, which means that this third side is equal to this third side, and these two complementary angles are respectively equal to these two, and hence they have the same shape, same area, everything is same, children. Okay, so this is the construction that we have to make in order to prove this, and this is the proof for this theorem, which is not given in our textbook, and hence I am showing you this in one single slide only. So, instead of, as I have already told you, instead of only taking it as AB and DE are equal, even you can take that BC, EF are also equal, and if you say that right angle hypotenuse and this side are equal to right angle hypotenuse and a corresponding side, then those two right triangles are said to be congruent. Now, let us work out one problem from 5.3. Fourth problem is this. So, what is the data? So, in this triangle ABC, once again, BE is perpendicular to AC. Look at the figure, children. So, BE is perpendicular to AC, fine. And second point is CF perpendicular to AB. So, CF is drawn perpendicular to AB. And one more point, the two altitudes are equal. The length of this altitude is equal to length of this. Given all these 3 points, we have to show that it is an isosceles triangle. Again, we need to compare the sides and angles of triangle BFC and triangle CEB, those being right triangles. What is the first point? We have to always write, if you are using RHS, first write down which is that angle equal to 90 and write down the reason also. Then immediately you must think of the hypotenuse. For both the triangles, BC is the hypotenuse which is in common. And finally, it is given in data that CF and B are equal. Therefore, we conclude that those two right triangles are congruent on account of RHS criterion. When they are congruent, this implies that these two angles are equal. That is, this angle of this triangle, of this right triangle, is equal to this angle of this right triangle. So, therefore, we prove this. So, when these two angles, two base angles are equal, AB and AC are equal, and hence it is an isosceles triangle. So, therefore, a statement can be made for this also like this. If two altitudes of a triangle are equal, then it is called an isosceles triangle only. Okay. Now, look at the problems of the worked examples as well as the exercise questions on SS, children. Only one worked example is there. In 5.3, there are 3 problems are there, and similarly on RHS. So, these are the problems on RHS. So, only one worked example is given, that is worked example number 8, and these are the problems in exercise 5.3. So, P1, P3, these are the problems, and all the problems on SSS and RHS, you can see it in one single slide. I sincerely request all of you to work out each and every problem, discuss with your friends and show it to your teacher only. Children, can you take down the homework? So, these are the problems on theorem number 5.2 and 5.3. There are no worked example on theorem 5.3 at all. So, hardly 11 problems are there. In this exercise, some problems are based on SAS and ASA also, whereas on SSS and RHS, so these are the number of problems from 5.3 and these are the worked examples also. I request all of you to work out these problems in detail. So, in this third session on triangles, we have discussed theorem 5.2, 5.3 on isosceles triangles. So, on isosceles triangles, we have discussed the theorem and the connected problems also, children. Okay. Yes. along with the worked examples and 5.2 exercise problem. Also, we have discussed SSS and RHS criterion on congruent triangles along with the worked examples with 5.3 exercise problems. So, in the next session, we shall discuss the inequalities in triangles. Okay, hope you have enjoyed SSS and RHS criteria, okay, and isosceles triangle properties. Be regular in your studies, children. Take care of your health. Thanks for watching, children. Namaste, children. I am leaving the studios, so hence I am wearing this mask. Namaste, children.